The US is in a much better position than other countries, dramatically better. Okay. And the US real estate market will definitely experience hardship, but so will everybody else.
So what's this timeline look like? If we find ourselves here today, do we go ahead and say, okay, suburbia is going to be a great opportunity. Let's go ahead and get ahead of it. Are we buying into suburbia at a good time today, or are there going to be better opportunities in the future as we see, say, potentially recession go on? We see individuals that are potentially losing their jobs and going back to the '08 period of time. Are people going to lose their homes? Are people going to be turning their homes over to the banks taking over? How are the opportunities going to evolve?
Yeah.
So I'm talking to people right now. They're saying, I would like to get into the real estate market right now. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities if we just sit and wait for those opportunities to rise. So how do you see this evolving over time?
Well, the right answer is I don't know. Okay. So none of us know. We're in uncharted territory. We have never seen this before. And look, for all the people who think they can outwit the stock market or the real estate market or whatever, look at Mr. Market has a certain amount of wisdom that no one person has. And if you don't believe that, just look at the powers that be who have much more information than we do. And those would be the central banks. The Federal Reserve and the government have vastly more information than any person listening, including me or you or anybody, right, has. They have more information and they can't predict the cycle. And they control part of it, to also, and they don't know. Nobody
Mhm.
really knows. But
Well, that makes me think about your valuation discussion. You say, well, there is no such thing as the U.S. real estate market. And so does that mean, yeah, today there's great opportunities and
yeah,
tomorrow there'll be great opportunities and we just have to look for them?
yeah, so that's why I always try to look at the macroeconomic angle on things, because when you look at macro, generally speaking, you can predict macro trends. Can I predict day by day or next month? No. But I just know for sure that there is going to be a mass migration out of high density living environments to lower density living environments. Okay. I can say that with certainty, and I think everyone listening probably believes that too. Um, will there be a recession? We're already in a recession. Will it be ugly? God, yes. This is mind-boggling what's going on. The cover of The Economist magazine has a picture of the Earth from outer space with a sign that says closed on it. You can't shut down the global economy and expect not to create a recession or a depression. This is going to be just a crazy time. But the difference is that this did not happen because of uh, uh, ridiculous lending standards. It did not happen. The banks have been really conservative, at least in real estate financing, coming out of the Great Recession. This is not a long-term problem. Now, I want to couch that in this. Look at, I think every economy on earth is pretty much built on a house of cards. It's all smoke and mirrors. Okay, so knowing that that's the environment we're playing in, that every economy is sort of built on this house of cards, if you will. Okay, that's just every economy. The question we have to ask ourselves is, compared to what? Okay, if people, I love these idiots that are out there predicting the collapse of America. Well,
Hmm.
compared to what? I mean, seriously, the U.S. has the biggest economy in the world. It has the biggest military in the world. It has the reserve currency of the world. And guess what else? It has the biggest brand name in the world. Okay, everybody wants to come to America. Okay, bash it all you want. Say that the dollar is fiat money and it's not backed by anything. You're wrong. Okay, the dollar is backed by aircraft carriers and missiles. Okay, just when you get down to it, at the end of the day, that's how the U.S. will continue to maintain reserve currency status, by the ability to inflict force and project power. That's just, it's ugly, but it's the way of the world. In terms of your prior question, sorry about the long answer, it's kind of a timing the market question. And I don't believe you can time the market. The problem is if, one tries to sit out and say, okay, the deals are going to get better. You might be right. Okay. You might be right. I don't know. Certainly, when you look at the three different kinds of real estate markets in the world, linear, cyclical, and hybrid markets, those cyclical markets, and those are the markets where if you're looking at a graph, they have tremendous, glorious highs and really ugly lows. They thrive and then they crash and burn. Okay, those are markets that get all the publicity around the world. There are places like the west coast of the U.S., San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, Vancouver, Canada. Okay, the west coast up out of the U.S. even. South Florida, Miami, okay, the expensive northeastern markets, Washington, D.C., New York, Boston, markets like that. Around the world, there are markets like Dubai, Paris, London, Hong Kong, okay? These are markets that, have really high prices. They appreciate radically in the good times, and they crash and burn in the bad times. Those markets are going to suffer greatly. So when you hear someone talk about the real estate market, that's what they're talking about. When you hear these sound bites on the news, they're not talking about Atlanta, Ocala, Florida, Memphis, Tennessee, Jacksonville, Florida. They're not talking about Houston or Dallas. They're not talking about Little Rock, Arkansas. They're not talking about
Gary, Indiana,
yeah, well,
Maryville.
Gary, Indiana, you might not want to talk about that one at all. But
I saw you had a lot of properties in northern Indiana there.
yeah, but Gary is, not one of the markets we totally recommend. Okay, I mean, if you're a real bottom feeder type of landlord, sure, you can make money in those types of places. Same with Detroit. We've never recommended Detroit. Same kind of reason. But there are some exceptions, and people look at, you can make money in any area of real estate. I'm just saying that my plan is, I think people should buy good quality properties in good markets, and they should buy necessity housing. Okay. When times get hard, people need shelter. We all now know through this pandemic that the home is the center of the universe. Not an office building, not a retail center, the home. That's where everybody's been told to go and stay, at home. Okay. And guess what? People now realize, if they've got a roommate and they live in a 2-bedroom place, you know what? Someone's got to move. My company told me I got to work at home. I need that spare bedroom now. And maybe my company gave me an extra $200-300 a month to work at home as an allowance. Okay. And I got to set up a home office. So someone's got to move. Guess what just happened? We just doubled the demand for housing. Double. Okay. Now, another funny thing, a lot of people have talked about all these couples that are at home quarantined with nothing to do, and that there might be a coronavirus baby boom in 9 months. Okay. So if that's true, if people are making love, right, then they've got to get a bigger house. So we've increased the demand for housing. If both of those people in that couple have been told to work at home, and the kids have been told to study at home, and there's, a couple and 2 kids, okay, think about how much more housing you need now, more space. What if people are fighting at home and they're arguing and they're just at each other's throats, and they realize, they never spent this much time with their significant other. I can't stand you. After this is over, I'm getting out. And the divorce rate goes up. Double the demand for housing.
Yeah.
Okay. So necessity housing, the demand is going to increase dramatically. Necessity housing in suburban markets